I get asked a lot about how I make texture in my paintings, so I thought I would do a demo of some ways I do that. The other question I get a lot is how do I keep track of the colors I'm using? So I included that here too. I've been wanting to do some black in this one. So I think the first thing I'm going to do, I made sure that it's gloss medium on there. What I want to do is dig into this with a tool. If I can find something here, I'll try this screwdriver. What I want to do is dig into that layer of gloss medium and just make some marks in here with this screwdriver, and then I'll show you what I'll do with some glaze. Hopefully this will turn out nice. Okay, so just gonna get those crumbs off of there. And then what I do is I make a really thin glaze. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to try this Azo Gold. I need a little cup or something. Yeah. Remember these little cups, these little bathroom cups from when you were a kid? At least that's how I remember them. But these are great for mixing small amounts of glaze. So I'm going to start with this. I'm not going to do black yet. I want to see how this looks, because it'll blend in more with what I've got. So I'm using this Azo Gold. It's transparent, and I'll add some water to it, and then I'll go over it. See, I put some in the cup, with a little water. I'm going to give more water to it, and then I want to take that glaze, go over the whole thing. The reason I'm doing this glaze is that it's pretty close to the other colors that are in there. So in case it doesn't look good, it'll be a lot easier to remove this. So what happens is that glaze goes into those grooves that I dug with the screwdriver that go through the gloss medium. And then I'll take a baby wipe and go over it. Can't really tell. Yeah, can't really tell. Okay, might have to go in again. Okay, here's my little tool that I want to use. You have to use a lot of elbow grease to do this. I feel like I'm not even cracking through that layer of gloss medium there. Now I am. Sometimes it's really hard to get down to that next layer. You need something a little tougher, like a little sharper. It's like a spatula. That should dig in better. Yeah. Okay, that's doing what I want. So just trying to make some random marks. Not too many of them. Okay. Maybe this will work better this time. Okay, this time I am going to make it darker, because you really just couldn't tell with that Azo Gold. Okay, this here is Payne's Gray. It's not black, but I'm going to add a drop or two. Here's my Payne's Gray. So that is mixed with that other color. Yeah, I don't know. You can see the color there. It's really need to sand this a little bit just to get some of that stuff off the top. Got the sandpaper. This is really fine grit sandpaper. If I was doing this on a large scale, I would be using a mask. But since this is just a small little area, this is just 8 by 8. Dry that off after I went over it with a baby wipe, just to try to get all the crumbs from digging. So now let's see what happens if we put Payne's Gray on this. Oh yeah, you can see that. See how dark that is? So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to get the Payne's gray, that dark color, to go in all the grooves that I just carved out. Okay, you can see some of the grooves there. I feel like that's not quite dark enough. That's not really achieving what I wanted it to. Another layer of dark. I might have to just go all out with black. Art to Life Liquid Carbon Black. See if that comes out now. Okay, that was a good little blob. Okay, that's better. Yeah, much better. Okay, now it's really, you can see that, right? Yeah. This is really black. So now I'll just go over it with this light paper towel. I'm going to use another towel to get more of it off. So you can see right now, this is just lots of black on there, but I'm gonna wipe that off too. Okay, so I just sprayed a little water on it. I don't want to spray too much because I don't want to wash the black out of all those grooves, but okay, now you're starting to see the color come back. Need a clean paper towel. Okay, so now, yeah, I'm finally getting lots of black on the sides, which is not what I wanted, but it's okay. I gotta paint over that at the end anyway. So that's starting to look a lot better. Still have some black on the pink that I didn't want. Now you can see I've got some of those cracks filled in with black. I feel like I want more of these. That's just what I want here. I guess I want chaotic, because that's kind of how everything feels right now, you know? Okay, so now what I'm going to do, just get one more good spraying of water and wipe this off. And if there's still too much black on this, I can always paint over some of the colors. One more coating with the black. Hopefully it'll go into all the other stuff that I carved in there. Okay, yeah, I like that. I'll put the shop towel over it. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, cool. Yeah. Okay, so the liquid's pretty much out of that. Put this down again. This is what it looks like right now. Let's see what happens when I go over it like that. Yeah, pull up some of that black paint. So I'm going to go over it with the baby wipe now and see how much color I can get off, how much black I can get off of the color that's already existing. So here we are now. And you're probably saying, oh, it was so pretty before. Now it's got all these ugly black lines and the paint is all desaturated. Well, that's okay because I can resaturate the paint. What I'll do, I'm going to let this dry and then I will go over it with a layer of gloss medium and then I'll come back over it with some color. So let's put this away for now, and we'll come back to that at some point later. This one's just kind of a mess. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I just was using, it's kind of a throwaway board, which means you just put your extra paint on it, and sometimes it turns out really cool, but right now it's not turning out very cool. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with it. Might throw some white on it. I'm going over this with white. Now that I've got that, I'll show you what I'm going to do now. Is it? There, scraper. Okay, I'm taking a scraper. Yeah, I'm not sure if I like that. This just didn't turn out all that great. Okay, what I'm going to do, just going to scrape that back on, go over it in different directions. And then I need some kind of a soft, like maybe one of these. Yeah, I don't like that either. So sometimes you can just play with things and it just doesn't work. That's okay though. I mean, you might think that's pretty cool looking, but I'm not, from here, I am not thrilled with it. Well, maybe I can use some other tools to dig in again. Like that. Make some scribbles. All right. So there's some scribbles. See that? I'll let that sit for a little while. I'd probably put some kind of a interesting texture on that too. So I'm putting some texture in this. I'll show you in a minute. I've got this little piece of, it's actually shelf paper that's textured. I use this sometimes when I'm just looking for something different to do. Okay, so you can see up close what that textured paper did right there and up there. It looks like a grid. And then I've got this little thingy that broke, unfortunately. And that puts other little dots in it. Yeah, well, sometimes, I don't know, it looks kind of cool, but I don't know. I can probably go back over it, like let it dry and then go back over it and figure out what's next. Let's see what happens if I do some water in here, maybe in a few spots. Get that textured paper towels. And there's a lot of texture in there, but it's going to take, it'll take a while. So I'll let this dry too. This is my color book. And what I do is I just put in all the colors that I mix. I add splotches of all the different colors that I've mixed up and what colors went into them. It's really very random. Sometimes I'll keep them together like reds and blues, but this one is pretty random. This is a good way to keep track of the colors you're using so you don't forget, or if you want to go back and find a color that you used, you can find it in here, or it gives you ideas for future paintings. So that's just one thing I do to help keep track of what I'm using in the studio. I was working on this. This has a long way to go. I'm going to be covering up all those crazy colors and marks. And then today I was working with my friend Jill on Zoom, and this is the progress I've made on the two 18 by 18 wood panels. I've still got a ways to go, but I think they look kind of cool. To summarize, we talked about embedding texture with glazing and then putting texture on top of thick paint with a throwaway board. Then I showed you how I keep track of my colors. I hope these tips were helpful, and you can always ask questions in the comments. Thanks for watching.